Last video, I showed you that Claude's scheduled tasks now run in the cloud. And let me remind you, it's an absolute game changer for business owners. Work can now happen on repeat whilst your laptop is shut and you can guide it from your phone. But today, I'm going to take it a step further and you're going to walk away with 5 working, scheduled tasks that you can use that I guarantee will save you a ton of time. Plus, you'll also take away the learnings that will let you implement this on any workflow inside your business, no matter how custom your process is. So let's kick it off. And before we get to the 5, there's one thing that you need to understand first. This whole thing runs on a process or a concept called loop engineering. And it's what takes you from asking AI questions in the chat window to getting it to run autonomously without you, while still enabling you to actually give human in the loop inputs throughout that process. And we include those human in the loop inputs because we want it still to retain that high level of quality. So Anthropic wrote this up themselves recently, and I'll link the full post below for you. But here's the simple version. A loop is Claude repeating cycles of work until a done condition is met. So we now give Claude a criteria of done, something like keep going until every receipt is matched or flagged for my review. And then Claude can use its intelligent models like Fable to plan a task that always achieves the desired outcome before actually returning for our inputs, if it even needs our inputs anyway. And loops can get triggered in 3 ways, right? It can be turn-based, which is actually you sending a message to the chat, it working until it hits that done condition. And we kind of want to avoid these because it means you still have to be there as that middleman interacting back and forth. The second is time-based. So it's going to run on a schedule every Friday, first of the month. Most of today's 5 scheduled tasks will be under this category. And then you've also got event-based. So something happens in the real world, a meeting ends, an email is received in your inbox, and then the loop is going to kick off as a result of that event happening. You can also reverse engineer these event-based ones to be time-based too. So every hour you go in and check your Google Mail inbox, and that is then checking for the event to happen. So the skill you're going to learn today for each of these is how to write that effective done criteria. And the clearer those finished conditions, the quicker you'll set these up and have them running every day inside your business. Right, so task number 1 then is invoice and receipt reconciliation. So this is something that is going to help every single business out there. You spend a bunch of money from your business account, receipts probably land in a few different inboxes. It was 3 different inboxes for me. You've then got transactions sitting in a different software, like an accounting software, Free Agent in my case. And someone, usually you or your accountant, has to link all those transactions up, attach the receipts to the transactions, and make sure all of the accounts are in order. So you skip that kind of task for like 6 months and you've got like 600 plus transactions at the year end that you have to go and reconcile. And because I only set this up a few weeks ago, this was exactly the scenario I had. Over 600 transactions that were not reconciled, and I needed Claude to go through and reconcile for me. So the logic of this task is super simple. It happens every Friday at 4 p.m. my time. It's going to pull the week's unexplained transactions from my accounting software Free Agent. Then it goes hunting through those 3 different inboxes for matching receipts. And when it finds a match, it's going to attach that and explain the transaction. When it doesn't find it, it's going to add it to a gaps list, and then it's going to tell me, these are the gaps that I have. Can you manually go and reconcile these ones instead? Or tell me where to find the receipts? And when we talk about done criteria, that email is that done criteria. So every transaction from the week is either matched or put onto that gaps list. So the done criteria is that it's covered every single transaction. Now, setting this up was fairly easy once I defined that done criteria, but I did hit a problem, and I think you'll eventually hit this too when you're setting up your own workflows. So cloud tasks can only reach apps through connectors. So there's currently no credential vault, so you can't actually use APIs or put in your API keys into the free text. And then the second problem was that receipts went to 3 Gmail inboxes. So the built-in Gmail connector here just gives you access to 1 specific Gmail account, which isn't enough in our use case. So the workaround is actually to connect to a tool called Composio. And inside Composio, and by the way, there's a very generous free plan, you can connect up to Gmail and actually connect to multiple of your Gmail accounts. So the connector or inbuilt connector inside Claude is able to then access multiple accounts, and we just tell it in the prompt to actually go and connect to the Gmail accounts through the Composio MCP. So you can think of it like an interface layer that plugs in as a connector itself and stores the credentials for those different services on its side, so the agent never sees any of those credentials. So actually, once you understand those nuances, it's very simple to set up and saves me time on a weekly basis. And it might seem like a small automation, but it literally will save me a few hours a week, or at least an hour a week, and my sanity if I forget to do it and then try to do it and reconcile 600 transactions at the end of the year instead. Now, scheduled task 2 is something that's going to help everyone out here. So it's the subscription creep Audit. So we built a version of this live in the last video, so I'll keep it concise, but let me show you the logic now that it's actually running for real. So it's basically going to pull the recurring outgoing money, right? The things that are going to look like subscriptions or ongoing services for the last 8 or so months. So it covers supplier bills, expenses, and any bank transactions. And then we're going to run an analysis on that. In the last month or so, have we seen any price increases of this month versus the last month? Are there any possible duplicates where we have multiple accounts? Is there something possibly unused, i.e. we haven't been using it for the last 6 months or so? And then it's also going to calculate the total spend on recurring subscriptions this month versus last to identify discrepancies and figure out where we can potentially strip back on a subscription or cancel things that we've forgotten to cancel. And if you're anything like me, you're testing out new tools every single month. So it's going to pull all those recurring bills and expenses, compare each one to the previous month, and then kind of flag those discrepancies. And then it's going to send us the audit as an email or a notification inside Claude with that total monthly recurring spend versus last month. And you can see actually what it caught for me in its last run. So my recurring spend rose by about 15% month on month. And the audit showed me that the swing was almost entirely meta ads and not due to my recurring software stack, but it still flagged 4 subscriptions that had quietly gone up due to a few extra seats and a few climbing costs that have gone up over the quarter. Not only that, but it also showed me 3 AI platforms running in parallel, plus separate API usage on top of that. So it really gave me an insight without having to look into the detail of all of that monthly spend at a glance, and helped me to go in and cancel some subscriptions. And this took literally about 10 minutes to set up. And by the way, if you want any of these that we're running through today, you can access the skills down below in the description. They're built to interview you on your process, your finance software, your inboxes, and then set up your version of the equivalent, not my version. So it's going to be customized completely to you. And whilst you're down below grabbing that, if you're getting value so far, I'd really appreciate if you hit the subscribe button below, because it's massively helpful to me and it tells YouTube to show this to more business owners like you. So scheduled task number 3 then is going to save you time and effort with continuous email monitoring. So this is actually combined a single run task, which is going to be helpful for you anyway, and something that leads on to a scheduled task that can continuously save you time. So this is all about making email drafting that actually sounds like you. So it's taking your voice from your existing emails and making a template profile for your voice or for your email voice. But not only that, it's going to go a step further and actually grab some common templates and email themes from your inbox. So say you're having to refund customers, it's going to grab a refund or cancellation common answer that you give and actually allow you to just draft that straight away. And all of this would feed into a scheduled task that checks your inbox and drafts those replies on your behalf. But I think the important part is showing you exactly what kind of thing it captures and how easy it is to actually set this up. So inside the desktop app, inside Claude Cowork, so it's able to connect to my apps, my Google Mail, I quite literally asked Claude to set up a scheduled task, which you can do through scheduled new task create with Claude, to just connect to my email inbox, run through all of my sent mails in the last 90 days, and it will ask you questions about, frequency, etc. And do 2 things on my behalf. Firstly, craft a list of rules that determine my email voice profile. So for certain responses or greetings, sign-offs, how I speak, etc., just grab the whole lot of data and actually go and summarize things that I commonly do and turn that into a template so that we can actually make drafting in my voice sound much more like me. So that's a super simple thing to do. And the other thing that's going to be really useful is we often send continuously the same themed emails. So say you send out client contracts, proposal follow-ups, invoice chases, refund cancellations, invoice billing, self-service redirects, support answers, anything like that where you're sending out emails that you sent out maybe 5 or more times. It's going to turn into a template that will feed into the examples so that when you run a scheduled task to run through your inbox, it's going to understand exactly how you speak and exactly how you answer in certain scenarios that are quite commonly occurring in the last 30, 90, 60, whatever days. You can see we've got things in the templates like the polite no, the follow-up chase, the interview invite, the hiring. All of that stuff has been formed as templates that can then put inside an Agentic OS folder so that when I'm actually drawing from that information in the future and drafting emails, it's going to pull from those examples directly. Again, took 10, 15 minutes, and I've ran all of these examples in parallel. It's something that I'm going to use day to day. And we touched on a really important point there, which is often we want to feed in our context to give these scheduled tasks some actual business context. It shouldn't operate always in isolation. So something like my email briefs, for example, should have the context of that brand voice that's always fed into it. And I mentioned that I keep mine in my Agentic operating system, something that we encourage as part of our Agentic Academy down below in the description. But when you run these scheduled tasks in the cloud, you actually can't give it any access to your local files or folders. So you need to store that information somewhere. And a workaround to do this, which also enables team permissions, is actually to connect it up into something like Notion. So put all your team contacts, like your email voice profile, your email templates that we just talked about, or just your voice profile in general, inside a shared folder that you can control access to. And then inside your scheduled task where you're asking it to actually draft those emails, you can tell it to connect up to your contacts and pull those examples from Notion rather than working in a local folder here. So the fix is kind of to move the files that you have on an existing local desktop somewhere where an inbuilt Claude connector can actually reach. And for me, that's Notion. Now, scheduled task number 4 is something that you probably have faced before. It's turning meetings into that to-do list. So we all have those AI note takers, right? We have Fathom, Granola, etc., but not many of them actually feed into where we work today. So I have a task list inside a project management folder inside Notion. And every time I have a meeting, I have actions that I never look at, recordings that I never look back at. But wouldn't it be great if you could just take those recordings, take the transcripts, take the action points and just put it where you work already into your task list. So it's a dynamic task list that's auto-populated a couple of times a day by those Fathom meeting notes. So that's exactly what I did. I set up, using Composio, the service we mentioned earlier, a connector to Claude that could go and retrieve my Fathom notes. And twice a day this runs, 11:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m., Monday through Friday. And it effectively goes in and grabs all the action points, converts them into a Notion-like format, and adds in all the details directly into my inbox so that I can come and actually sort them. Now, I haven't got it to the point yet where it assigns it to my different team members like Solomon or myself, but right now it just logs who the action point is against so that I can actually go and do that. But I could expand this functionality, give it a bit more information around how I categorize things and the owners inside of this task list and how to assign those. And you can see, for example, it's added from a meeting that I had last week, contact early testers of our Team OS system. It has things like the due date, the exact recording and time that was said. So we can go back and review the recording in Fathom and any next steps or the source of that information. So you're no longer having to go to Fathom, retrieve those and put them in your task list. This is done automatically twice a day. You can have it running as frequently or as infrequently as you like. And actually, you didn't even need to do this inside Composio because inside the inbuilt connectors inside of Claude, you've actually got the ability to grab the meeting summaries, transcripts, and action items directly. Now, this last one is probably the most useful, and it's the one I'd keep if I could only keep one of these 5 scheduled tasks. The problem we have, right, is I've started a separate business called RankSpot AI, which is all about being the brand that AI recommends. So it's about getting customers from ChatGPT, Claude, etc., and how to rank in those AI prompts and how to rank for the right terms. So we are not alone in this market, and like your business too, you will not be alone inside your market, right? You have a bunch of competitors that are tackling this at a different angle. We have a competitor list, and it's not even a complete list, right, of around 30 to 50 competitors. Now imagine trying to keep up with all of those competitors and every update they make, all the posts that they make across YouTube, LinkedIn, X, their blogs, their product updates, all of that stuff, right? It's really hard to understand an aggregated view of all of that information. So inside Notion, we have this RankSpot competitors table. And as you probably guessed, we have a weekly competitor watch. So it does exactly that. It goes to the competitor website, understands their socials, does a bunch of scraping around that, and pulls together a weekly update. So you can see the last update it did, or the first update it did, because we've only just set this up, was yesterday. 14 of the 55 competitors in this table were active and made changes. It says the top movers. So these were the companies who were most active in those last 7 days. And these are the things they did. So Site AI, for example, bulk published 12 GEO/LLM visibility comparison pages and pricing posts on the 21st of July. And then below, we've got a per competitor rundown, and you can customize this to however you want, right? But we can go through it and see exactly what each competitor changed over the last week. And of course, it's not going to cover absolutely everything, but it saves you having to individually go and check all of these, right? And you can see it's linked the sources. So if, for example, I wanted to go to Site AI and see what bulk published 12 posts they did, I can go directly to the site blog here, where it sourced that information from, and I can see that they have published on July 21st, all of these different posts. So I can then go and say, do I want to do something similar targeting my niche? And it gives me that competitive edge or competitive insight to then focus my time on what's most important. What we're effectively saying in the done criteria is check all of these competitors in the list and don't return or don't finish or don't complete until you've actually checked every single one in this list, whether they've made updates or not in the last week. You should either say they have with proof or say they haven't. So those are the 5 scheduled tasks, and all of them are available as skills to set them up for yourself down below in the description. And if you want more tutorials like this and build tasks and skills out the box and to tackle these alongside other business owners, then check out the Agentic Academy linked below in the description, and see you in the next video.